G'day guys, welcome back to the Fon Supercoach YouTube channel. Today we are going to be reviewing round 3, which as you can see was a disaster for me, but that's all right. Lots of things went wrong. But firstly, I've got 2 games to review. So I reviewed the first 5 games last night. So if you want the reviews for those, please check those out. But yeah, let's jump into the Power and the Eagles. So I, like many others, had the captaincy on Zach Butters. So this was whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm not complaining about a 126 by any stretch of the imagination. He was honestly really good. He was getting some attention at stoppages, but nothing crazy, really. And yeah, he was super good. So fantastic. Horn Francis, I think, is going to be cheap at some point, but he had pretty much a no preseason, so I don't know if I want to go there. And if I do, it would likely be after the buys if I get an injury or something like that. So that's my view on Horn Francis. Watkins. Oh, Will Brodie went 67. Interesting. Okay. Watkins was all right. He's not setting the world alight. He's not like a big contested sort of player, but I don't think they're going to drop him because I don't think Will Brodie was particularly good either. The score is obviously irrelevant. It's whether or not the coach wants to play him. Like 10 contested, 4 clangers. A lot of his contested stuff was just like, I don't know. He didn't do anything impressive is what I'm trying to say. So I don't know if he comes in and dethrones Watkins from a spot in the side, but yeah, I'm not too sure. And then Lai, I thought was really good in the first half, but didn't score much at all in the second half, it looks like. I don't know, 17? Yeah, so just faded out of the game in the fourth quarter with a -2. That is what it is. He was a lot better than Mead, McKinlay, Jones, so I still think he's going to be a decent option next week. I think there's a discussion around whether or not you want to double upgrade or double downgrade or whatever next week. So I think that's if you want to double downgrade next week, because there's a couple of rookies that look interesting. So I'll discuss that in a second when I do trades. Then on the West Coast side, so Tim Kelly has had 120 Supercoach off 68 fantasy. Was really good later in the game, but that ratio is not sustainable at all. So I would be suggesting not going there personally. But he did play really well, particularly when Elliot Yeo went down, which was really unfortunate because he was playing super well, but went down just before halftime. So hopefully Yoey gets his body right. Reed was quite good. I think he gave away 150, which was obviously a little bit silly. But yeah, hit the scoreboard. Lots of contested stuff. Yeah, he was really good. I don't know what Reed's been scoring. Let's have a look. Harley Reid. Okay, so not great. But I think he's had a lot of like freeze against and stuff to start the season, so that's kind of what it is. And then Willem Dersma, if you had him, you would be very, very, very happy with that. And unfortunately for me, it's another player that's going well that I don't have. The cash cow's hurt. I just was not, to be honest, I wasn't expecting West Coast to have any chance of winning this game. And I thought that would hurt Willem. And I thought that would probably kill his cash gen, but it's done the exact opposite. I think he made 70k this round. Absolute smash pick if you started or you went there this week. So well done to owners. I think it's probably unfair to Willem, but I think part of my reasoning to fade him, he's like not an accumulator, doesn't have a great role, but I think we look at some of the other Dersmas in the league and we're a little bit skeptical of another Dersma, but he's clearly the best. And he's going to be a ripper player. So well done to those who own him. Josh Lindsay was super good. I thought anyway, 70 just looked really composed back there outside of his first kick of the game. Don't know why he was dropped, but yeah, I thought he was quite good. And then Bo Allen, if you went there, got the 69 from him. Did kick 2 goals. Not a lot of footy, but you take the 70, that's for sure. Shanahan's not relevant for Supercoach, but he looks like a ripper player. And then Schoenberg, 59, will be on the bubble next week. Don't know that he holds when Murdoch is back. Oh, Robertson, 53. 7 clangers, 3 of which were freeze against. I think he gave away 50 as well. Just a really frustrating game for him, to be honest. But not worried about Dev at all. He's been pumping out 80s and 90s. Or 90s and 100s, I think. So, yeah, not concerned about him in the slightest. Duff Tytler, just some days he's going to get opportunity as a forward, some days he's not. And this game, unfortunately, he did not. And then Newton, I hope no one owns Newton. I was really big on him after watching one of his practice games, but glad I didn't go there. All right, Blues versus the D's, my boys. That was a fantastic win as a Melbourne supporter. I didn't go. I don't like going to games at the start of the year because I like watching all the other games, which might seem a bit silly, particularly like Gawn's 250th and that sort of stuff. But that's why I wasn't there. But yeah, this was probably the most fun I've had watching a home and away game since 2021. So very excited for my boys. I'll be honest, like I do feel it is funny that Carlton does this literally every week, where they come out, win the first half pretty convincingly, and then just like go home at halftime. I don't know why it happens. I can't put my finger on the pulse for that, but I do sort of I feel a little bit sorry for Carlton fans. But that being said, being on the winning side of that for the first time in what feels like ages was an absolute joy. So getting to the reviews, I don't know if any of these players are relevant, the Hollands boys or Florent. Florent could be, but I don't think many went there. Walsh was okay. Didn't get attention like I thought he would. And to be honest, I thought without attention he'd pump out like a 120 or a 130, but yeah, just poor disposal efficiency. We have seen that before with Walsh. Kicked 2 points. So yeah, not ideal on that front. Jagger was really good. Scored the 88. Kicked his first goal, which was nice. I think he didn't do much in the last quarter, as evidenced here. Or he didn't do much after quarter time, to be honest. But he was really good in the first quarter. Obviously, obvious hold, obvious field every week. No one's worried about Jagger. Harry Dean got injured, so if you have him for whatever reason, I think you might want to flip him. Taylor Byrne played his first game. He's a 113k mid-forward. Probably we wouldn't be going here. Didn't do a whole lot, but he wasn't bad either, so yeah, who knows. And let's move on to the Demons. So Pickett, kicked the sealer late. He just went bananas in the last quarter. How many did he score? Okay, so the second half he scored, what is this, 112? Just absurd. Absurd from Pickett. But yeah, they put Hewitt to him, and Hewitt was just too slow. I don't know. Pickett was 42 disposal efficiency for a 135 is crazy. So left a massive score on the table, unfortunately, for owners. But yeah, he was super good player. And Gawn just did Gawn things, just killed them in the ruck. Did get 17 hitouts to advantage, which I'm a little bit surprised about. I don't know when they all happened. They must all happen in the last quarter. I can actually check that, can't I? I can. Where are they? Hitouts to advantage. 17. I don't understand how that is possible, but here we are. So yeah, there was none after halftime. It was 4 at halftime when the Carlton midfield was just dominating the Melbourne midfield. So it's not a surprise, but what a player Gawn is. Still racking up the pill, which is a little bit interesting. He's actually getting a bit of cheap ball, which is sort of surprising for a ruck, but yeah, I don't know. Gawn was tremendous, so love the big fella. It's a shame not owning him, but I don't think he's really killing me at the moment, which is always a benefit. Steele was super good. I think the fantasy scores are massive. He's just tackling a bunch, so yeah, he's been a really good acquisition for us. Super good player. Sparrow, I was watching Sparrow in the first half and I was sort of bashing him a little bit. A bit of whipping boy type treatment, but he was actually really good in the last quarter when we were running over the top. So well done to him. I know a lot of supporters sort of bash him a bit as well. Not Supercoach relevant, obviously, but... and then we get into the mid-prices. So Windsor was a lot better from the accumulation sense today, but a lot of it's outside. So when the kicking is poor, the scoring is also poor. So that's sort of what happened with Windsor. And then Lindsay was on 75 or something at 3/4 time. It might have been even more than that. Yeah, 76 at 3/4 time. And just was played most of the last quarter on the bench. And then when he got on, he got the ball running through the middle of the ground wide open. I was oh yeah, I got up out of my seat. I was yes, here we go. And then he just kicked it straight to a Carlton player in a wide open forward line. So that was a bit of a disaster. And then he got shepherded and a bit winded, and then he was just never seen again. So it was unfortunate. I thought that we were finally going to get the big score from Lindsay, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. CJ did get injured, so that's probably good for Lindsay in the long run. And then like Cross probably wouldn't go there, just small forward. Pickett still having the small forward type games. So yeah, that's all the matches. As I said, I reviewed the rest of the matches in another video. So if you want to see that, please check that out. Now moving into the team, I guess I'll just run through them all sort of like quickly. So Sinclair's just got the easiest role in footy. I'm a little bit sour about opening round. Getting like he was like 12% owned before opening round. I don't know what he is now. It's probably like 40 plus. Yeah, 45, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's the game, I guess. I shouldn't be too sour about it. Clark, I was bashing after that first week, and he rewarded me with 2 130s. So we'll take that. He's a warm body, so we're going to play him at the moment. I don't know what the fixture's like. I thought the Richmond fixture wouldn't be that good, to be honest, but he played really well. And then obviously, like, I think this is 3 good fixtures in a row for Clark as well. So, 4, 5 fixtures in a row. So pretty excited about having Jordan Clark right about now, I'll be honest. It's a good thing all my players got injured and I didn't rage trade him out. Whitfield, just, I don't know. This game, Whitfield got more of the ball than Ash. And that was very handy for me as a Whitfield owner. And then Houston, I think Houston will be a big talking point this week. Just FYI with Houston, if you go to his primo seasons at Port, there's heaps of these stinker games. Like, let's pick them out. 24, like 59 and 76 against Saints and Dogs, 2 of the easiest matchups. 77 against North, easy matchup. Like, there's 3. And then 2023, 72 against Collingwood, 77 against Sydney. Don't know what those matchups were like at the time. 47 against the Dogs, another easy matchup. And then these like 60s, not great. But he does this. And he just, some games he just goes nuclear. So I'm not worried about Houston yet. Next week, if there's another stinker, I'll be a little bit concerned. The week after that, if it happens again, he's gone. But I'm holding the faith with Dan Houston. The Brisbane matchup, probably not great. Particularly not at the Gabba. I don't know what he's like at the Gabba. I don't know if there's any history here. Nah, hasn't played the Gabba in a while. So that's not great. And then he gets to Adelaide Oval again for like a lot of MCG games. So I don't know. I'm not worried about Houston. Jakes didn't play. Lindsay 70 was very good, as I said in the review. Butters just spoke about Dacos. Dacos not getting tagged is going to go 135 plus every week. So if you get to a matchup where you think Nick is not tagged, I think he just has to be in your captain's, vice captain's plans. I think Berry will go to him this week because they used him on Nazaya and they used Berry on Dacos in the second half of this game. Dacos still beat him, but I still think it'll happen. I don't know if they get him this time. Just not sure. In this game, I wonder if we see Freo use Wagner. Is that game early in the week? It's on Friday. What are the other options like in this week? No one from these games really. Probably not anyone from this game either. Like Holmes or Smith. Like Whitfield, Callahan, Ash. Yeah, wow, this week is interesting. There's not really a lot of good captain's options this week, except for Gawn against Blackiston. He's kind of the main one I like. Interesting. That week's going to be weird. Oh, who does St Kilda play? Port? Could probably go Sinclair. But yeah, I think it could be like a VC Dacos C, like Max Holmes or something like that. Although I don't love the idea of Holmes at Norwood. I will say. Not much space for him to run around. We'll see when we get to gather round. That's a while away, obviously. Parrish was dreadful. He's gone this week. Just no power, no defense. Like I'm actually not sure why Essendon pick him. Broon had his face smashed in early and didn't like the contest after that, which is fair enough. Lindsay scores 69 every week. Jagger we just spoke about. Blamires was super good. I think he should be on your field if possible. The mid rookies are all weird where like you kind of want them all on your field and there's no like slow burners. I don't know. This year's so weird. Grill was fine. Got involved a bit more this week. Just spoke about Watkins. Cherry was dreadful. I think I have a feeling this ban is going to be 3+. I'm kind of hoping it is, if I'm being honest. I want an excuse to get rid of him. Trading Cherry in just is doing my absolute head in, because I literally spoke about this all preseason. I spoke about it in my round review video last week. Cherry is going to be impacted by the scoring. Cherry's going to be impacted by the scoring. He goes and drops 200. It's a perfect match for him. I literally said that, and then I trade him in. It's virtually point chasing. And then we get a game where there's really low stoppages, unusually low, but he can't score without the stoppages. So with the stoppages dropping, I kind of just want out of this pick, to be honest. Particularly, I think if he gets 3, it takes him out of this Richmond matchup, which is going to be an absolute donkey matchup. And whilst he still gets Briggs and he still gets whatever Geelong dish up, I'm done. I just give him 3 so I can get rid of him. And then Zach Ostelski should play this week because Marshall got injured, so that is a good win for holders. Sheezer was really good. Petrarca, if Petrarca's 1-2 for whatever this week, I'll actually hold, but I just don't think it'll happen. Flanders was good bounce back. I think Flanders is going to be comfortably good enough as an F6, so I wouldn't be thinking about trading him out anytime soon. Devrod we just spoke about. Filippo was much better this week. And then hopefully we get Marshall back and hopefully Lombard plays. So let's get into some trades. So assuming Cherry is 3+, he's out. I've already got the boost fired up. Darcy Parish is out. And assuming Petrarca is still 3+, he's out as well. Who do I want? So I don't want another ruckman. I'm just going to wait for them. I'm going to play the long game with them. The contests are down. Eventually, the ruck scoring will drop as well. I know the hit-outs to advantage are up, but I still think the ruck scoring will drop. Let's just quickly check some rucks really quick. So Gawn. Gawn's just been so good, by the way, these few games. I'm genuinely unsure about his score being sustainable because of how massive he's gone in the last quarter of a lot of these games. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I obviously would have loved to have started him. Been a great starting pick. This match against Gold Coast won't be great. This match against Blackstone will be. Brisbane will be. Richmond will be. I could just go down to him, but I think because of the position I'm in, where after this week, I'm likely going to have 32 trades left and a lot of upgrading still to do. I have to play a conservative trade game. And I think trading in someone who is 700k, even if they I don't think Gawn will be a bad trade in by any stretch of the imagination. But even though he is 700k, I just don't think I can pay that again. I'm not after Cherry. I got to learn from my mistake. So I'm going to let him go. I think the other one I want is Grundy. Ideal world, you probably have all 3. Oh, Grundy's got West Coast this week. My goodness. Ugh. Somehow only went 104 on West Coast last week, so we're going to pray for that again. It is at Optus. That's got to be a good start. And then he gets Wits at Norwood. So if this is a bad game, we could be on here with Grundy. That could be the trade-in target in 2 weeks. He could be low 600s, so that'd be a great win for non-owners. Although he does have this Melbourne North run as well, so Cherry would be back by then, you would think. So yeah, I don't know. Grundy's firmly on my radar, but obviously not this week. So what am I going to do? So firstly, I'm just going to pretend that last week's trade didn't happen, and I'm going to get Max Holmes. He's not a ruckman. So that's what I'm going to do first. The one that I wanted for Petrarca, and I was hoping he'd be a bit cheaper, is Brian Myers. So we're going to do that. My question is, what do I do with this last slot? So there are a few options I think that people will entertain. Colby McKercher and Luke Parker. I have absolutely no read on their roles. I can't work out if McKercher's going to play a bit of wing. I can't work out if Parker got thrown forward at some points on Saturday night. McKercher was getting CBAs. Blamires is playing some wing, some half back. Daniel was playing forward and then all of a sudden just spawned in defence in the second half. I can't make sense of what's going on at North in defence. So I am a little bit fearful of fading Parker, to be honest, because when he gets defender status in the current role, it's very Zeeble-like. I don't know if people remember what Zeeble was like playing halfback, but he was a forward, so it's slightly different. But if if Parker was a forward, he'd be an absolute no-brainer, but he's not. So we're at this point with him. Who else is there? Let's go like this. Let's do that. And let's sort by break even. I think I'm just going to let Stewart go. I faded based on injuries, so I'm going to do that again. Oliver on bye, no. Spoke about Parker. I don't want anything to do with LDU. I could go Worrell, but I think if I'm going Worrell, I'd almost prefer to just go down to McKercher. But yeah, I'm not sure. Can't make a read. I can't make a read on the North players. I think Worrell's a keeper. I don't know if he's 105, but he'll be enough for D6 at the very least. And then like the options that probably aren't great down here. I don't mind Mills or Sicily, but I'm not going to go there myself. So yeah, then like Nazar and Ash on the bye this week. Finn Callahan on the bye this week. I think I need to trade someone in that helps me next week, which probably sounds a bit silly. But next week, I'm very interested in 2 players coming off their bye. Nazaya, because the run is absolutely like, it's a joke. Like Port aren't going anywhere near him. They've got no one to run with him. Adelaide, same problem. No one to run with him. West Coast, they got no one to run with him. Carlton have no one to run with him. Gold Coast won't run with him. Richmond won't run with him. So it's 6 games in a row where he's just going to get free reign. At 568, I want every bit of that. So I need to position myself in a way that I can get Nazaya next week. So what does that mean? Realistically, it means I can't actually trade in a defender. So because none of these guys have DPP. So what it means is this week I have to trade a position in that I'm going to trade out next week. So, and that is looking like, for me, being Xavier Lindsay. He's the one that's going to go. So I need to bring in a midfielder. But the midfielders I don't like. So I think what I've actually landed on, and I think people are going to be very skeptical of this, is Chase Jones. Why have I landed on Chase Jones? So, first of all, Jones is not a good player. I just want to put that out there. I am well aware of that. But he has 3 in a row at Adelaide Oval, and he scores really well at Adelaide Oval. Like, if you look at his... How much did he play last year? Oh, these are all sub-games, so they don't count. Like, Adelaide Oval, 61, 71. Okay, there are some... 110. Look, I'm just going to choose to just go with the good ones. 61. Like, he scores better at Adelaide Oval than he scores in these other games. Like, this 73 average... We got 93 at Adelaide, 116 at Adelaide, 113 at Adelaide, 73, 79, 70, 73, 103. I presume these are sub games, these 3. Well, that might be I don't know. But anyway, the scoring is there for Adelaide Oval. I don't love the risk profile of this, but like my other option is going early on Josh Lai, and I would really prefer not to do that. I'd rather wait a week for Finn Callahan than try and force that in, so basically if I do this, it means that next week I'm probably only making the 1 trade, and I have enough banked that I could realistically move on from anyone that I have the like DPP ability to do, so any midfielder or any defender. But again, I think it's going to be Lindsay because he has the least amount of cash to make, and after like a 60 this week, the cash is going to be pretty much dried up. Although he does have Essendon afterwards. I don't know. That's where I land. If one of these guys gets injured and makes a bit of cash, that's also fine. So that's how I'm lining up for this week. Well, that's how I'm trading. I don't want Chase Jones on the field. So let's do this. Unironically, though, I think I do want to loop him. Which probably sounds insane. Like, I think I'm going to loop Watkins and Jones. And Jones plays first, so let's do that. All right. Need a big game from Lombard this week. Got all these guys on field. Okay, so captains, vice captains. So I think this week's a touch weird. I don't want to go Dacos because I'm a little bit concerned about a tag. Sheasel I can go. Very happy to go with Harry. Carlton aren't going to put any time into him. Probably won't go Dawson. Not quite confident enough there yet. Butters I really like. If you had a Sydney player, you could, but I don't know who you'd have. How much is Heaney, by the way? I can't spell. 593 with a break even of 163, and then a Gold Coast GWS matchups. Interesting. He's another one that could be cheap soon. So yeah, if you had Heaney for whatever reason, you could go there. It's one that I would have loved to captain old mate Errol for, but unfortunately his shoulder exploded. Wouldn't be touching anyone in this game, I think. You could go Anderson, but based on Anderson's output so far, you're probably not too interested in it. So you probably fade that. If you've got Bont, Richards, you could do this. I'm a little bit hesitant of going English because of the way that this Essendon game played out this week, which might sound a little bit weird, but there was virtually no stoppages in this game. And I think that there are a few... The factors contributing to that were, Essendon and North were both so bad defensively that they couldn't force kicks to contests. And the skill use and whatever, there were so many turnovers, all that. The Dogs are going to be clinical with their skills because that's what they do. And the Dons are not going to be. So the way I envision that happening is Essendon turns the ball over and then the Dons just go back and score. There's no need for contests. So that's why I don't really want to go with an English this week. But if you have Bont or if you have Ed Richards, you should go there. I should actually talk. Why am I not trading Bont in when the fixture is extremely good? Firstly, he's 700k. I can't afford, based on my position, to trade in players who are 700k. Like I'm so far behind at this point. I just can't do it. So that's why I'm not doing that. This Hawthorn matchup, I think, won't be that good. Adelaide Oval. I think Bond scores well at Adelaide Oval. Obviously, this Essendon matchup's going to be bad. I think Geelong will have a plan for him. Don't know if it'll work or whatnot. Sydney will probably have a plan for him as well. Again, not sure how that'll go. And then Fremantle, I think he smashed Fremantle last year. 144 at home. I know the year before, there was one year, like in the first couple of weeks, he went 180 on Freo. Yeah, there we go. So, the fixture's bad, and this one's going to hurt. This is probably a 200. And I don't think I've ever had a season where I've missed multiple 200s, which kind of sucks. But anyway. But yeah, if you've got Bond, you want to go there. Why am I not trading in? He's 700k. In theory, he has to regress to the mean at some point. I see what these projected scores are spitting out. They're not real. Okay, it's just not happening. So that's where I stand with Bond. He's going to regress to the mean. I don't have enough trades to make this trade where Bont is so expensive. I think Holmes is the most expensive player I'm going to trade in for the rest of the year, genuinely. Which means I am praying that Bont gets below 600k. But we'll see how we go. So yeah, I just did vice captains. So we're going like this. Sheasel into Butters. I wouldn't touch the Geelong boys against Hawthorn. Hawthorn have traditionally been a little bit difficult for midfielders to score against. So yeah, I wouldn't go there. So yeah, that's how I'm lining up. Sheasel into Butters, and we pray. I think I've covered everything. Captain's options, rookie roulettes. I think most are going to have 2 out up here. I think most are going to have 2 out down here. So in the midfield, I think the floor with Watkins is safe enough that I'm willing to punt on Jones. What other mid-rookies could you have? You could have Dersma. I mean, you probably field Dersma. I think you're actually fielding Dersma over a Lindsay at this point as well, if you have Lindsay for whatever reason. Or a Windsor. Oh, Windsor's defender status. Or Parrish, if you're keeping Parrish, you probably field him over him. These mid-prices have been such a disaster. And then probably the last thing I want to discuss is obviously I won't be the only person in this situation. Rank 50k, it's not where you want to be at the start of the season. And generally, I haven't been this far back either. But in 2023, as you can see, I started the year at 39k, which was obviously quite challenging. But you can make the ranks up pretty quickly. And by round 9, I was in the top 1,000. So I'm not overly concerned. Obviously, my trade boost has been used on one trade. Doesn't sound right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's where the boosts are. Silly game. Obviously, I'm down one additional boost and how many trades? 3 trades because my team is so bad. But you can make it up. You can make it up. It is possible. So don't get too concerned. This year I finished 467 as well. So I did fall off a little bit at the end, but it's not a disaster if you're not having a good season so far. So what I'm trying to say is stay calm. If you make good decisions, your rank will improve. It is unquestionable. Like I got into the top 100 in this season. Well, I did. Was this the year I had a 3rd overall round rank? No, it's not. So yeah, stay calm, stay focused, make good trades. It will probably be okay. It's not a good position to be in, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Thank you very much for watching. I will try and update you all on what I end up landing on for trades. I've got a bit of research to do, I think. I want to actually make sure that going homes here is the right decision. So I'm going to be looking into Norwood. I'm going to be looking into Hawthorn games, Hawthorn versus Geelong, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to try and do some research on the North defender situation as well, because I think having a good grasp on that is really important for going forward from this point onwards. And then I might try and do some research on Josh Lai to see if I want to go early on him instead of Chase Jones. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.